What's going on, everybody? Soloyaker here, and yeah, Aransas Pass is at it again. They just can't seem to understand how to follow the rules of the council and the rules of the state. But hey, let's get into this video, and I'm going to talk about it here in just a minute.
Okay, we're going to go to special consideration items, which is consider an act on selecting a mayor pro tem for the ensuing year.
I make a motion to have Kerry Scruggs remain as mayor pro tem.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Now, I do want you to understand that in most all, maybe not all, but most every council, they allow public to speak on agenda items. And this is an agenda item that they are about to make a vote for. And you would think they would let the people speak about it.
I said yes.
Mayor, the motion passes with a 3-2 vote.
Okay, now.
Mayor, is there any discussion on that before we move
No.
on, Mayor? Do we have any discussion for that?
Okay, what?
Do we have any discussion for that?
I'm hard of hearing, bro. Can you talk a little louder?
Do we have any discussion before we move on that item?
It's already been acted on.
You certainly can have discussion on that item. If you'd like to have discussion, you certainly can, but it has already been voted on.
You're supposed to ask for discussion, aren't you, sir?
Well,
Never mind.
can we have this discussion so you can get it over with?
Who's talking right now is the mayor. That's the mayor that's saying, let's just get this discussion over with, because I don't want to hear it. We've already voted. Because what's about to come next is going to be Jason Followell. I will leave links in the description below, and I want you to go over to his channel, because not only him, but CJ Grisham are going after Aransas Pass right now because of their violations of civil rights and a load of other things. So make sure you go over and let them know the Armed Fisherman sent you.
Absolutely.
It's already been voted on. There's nothing to be done about it other than Ms. Scruggs has been mayor pro tem for the last 2 years, and she proved the last meeting that she doesn't even know the charter by not acting on the charter, because the charter says shall. Shall doesn't mean you can if you want to. It means that you will. That's my position on it.
What he's talking about.
Mayor, there are requests from the public to speak on this agenda item. I recommend that we treat it like a citizens communication and allow people 3 minutes if they'd like to address the council on this issue.
Thank you. You got some brownie points there, sir. Okay, so this was actually supposed to be done the first time after the election, so I'd like to know why we didn't follow charter. And then y'all repeated it again and didn't follow charter, so I'd like to know how come we can break those laws but we can't talk about anything else? I'm gonna look at the lawyer since you don't ever respond to me, Ram.
Mr. Followell, I think you're aware that we don't typically respond to citizen communication.
But you
as
can,
that.
so it's typically is the word, you can, and we all know you can, so let's get rid of the bullshit. You can. Let's not pretend that we can't. So would somebody like to tell me why y'all broke charter twice in a row? It is a law, right? Is anybody gonna get in trouble for that? Ram, I know you weren't here the second time, but you were here the first time. You didn't even call it to order. Joe, I'm not talking to you at all because you're an idiot. Jason, do you know why?
I had this discussion with the attorney earlier, and I guess you could address me on that matter, couldn't you?
Mr. Knight, I would like to encourage you not to engage in dialogue with people at the podium. It is allowed, and you're welcome to do so if
Told
you'd like
y'all.
to do so. Since this item is on the agenda, you're welcome to engage in dialogue with him if you like.
More brownie points. Good job, sir.
I guess the question he asked, that's what you explained to me. I guess you could explain it to me about why it was tabled, couldn't you?
Absolutely. The charter does unfortunately use the word shall as if it should be handled at that very first meeting, and a strict reading of that language would require that the city elect a mayor pro tem at the meeting immediately following the election, which would have been on let's see, the 6th, prior to Mr. Haskins being seated. It's my understanding that that is not the way it is traditionally handled in Aransas Pass, and that the charter language itself doesn't reflect the practice of the city. Likewise, there is no crime for violating the charter. It is not illegal in that sense. And so the fact that we addressed it at the first regular meeting after the seating of Mr. Haskins is the way that most cities handle that, even though the language itself here is not terribly clear. It's my recommendation that we address this poor language choice when it comes time for the charter amendment process that's likely going to come up this summer. We'll start talking about a charter committee to review the charter and make any recommendations, and this is one that I recommend we put on the list.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And the language is very clear. It says shall, not should, so it's very clear. So I would like an apology from the council about not following charter, even though this man says it's not law, so why do we have charter anyway? When charter is adopted, it is law, so why don't we follow it? Just because there's no penalty for it doesn't mean it's not law. Anybody want to apologize to the public for not doing your job yet again?
I can admit I didn't catch it till that night.
But you did say something on the second time. These guys didn't say anything.
I can tell you from my point of view, Jason, that if we're not going to adhere to the policies of the charter and the writings of the charter, then we're going to have trouble all through the charter. It's going to come up somewhere else where it's going to say, well, you didn't do it here, and now you want to do it here. And you're shaking your head yes, because you understand that that can't happen.
It just happened.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what we need to get straight, is if we're going to abide by the charter, let's abide by the charter.
Yes, sir. And I, although I don't generally engage in dialogue with people standing at the podium, I do need to correct a misunderstanding about what I said previously. I did not say it's not illegal. I did not say it's not against the law to violate the charter. What I said, it was not a crime.
Flashback.
There is no crime for violating the charter. It is not illegal in that sense. There is no crime called violation of charter. And so I agree with you completely. The city needs to follow its charter. That is the will of the elected, of the voters of the community, and we absolutely need to do that.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm going to give you part 2 after this, because we haven't even gotten into public comment yet. Public comment gets a little bit wild too, and all because they're doing the same thing like they're doing in Clearwater. This whole decorum rules. Oh, we're council members and we deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. No, you earn your respect. You earn dignity. You earn these things. If you weren't the way you were, these people would not be at your council meeting saying the things that they're saying. They're trying to hold you accountable because you're not accountable for yourself. So to Jason Followell, keep doing what you're doing. Stay tuned. Wait till you see public comment, because I'm telling you, it gets good. So don't forget, hit that like, share, and that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Soloyaker, deuces.